Hey YouTubers, so what we've got going on today is a X-Trail T32 Nissan X-Trail 2014 with no washer working at all on the windscreen. So the washer bottle's here, and what we're going to be doing is having a look down in there. Hopefully that's not too annoying. I think that's going to be flashy. We're having a look down in there at the washer bottle motor, if I can get it to focus. Nope. And a couple of ways to get to that. One is maybe taking out the headlight, which I might try in a moment. Another is taking off the bumper, but this car's got a bull bar, which makes it a little bit trickier. And the third way, which I'm going to try first, is to go in through the wheel arch liner and see what we can find there. So first up, get it jacked up. Sorry for the equipment today, working away from home. And we'll get the wheel off and get that wheel arch liner out. Okay, so progress so far. You have to take out these two screws here out of the wheel arch liner, which are Torx, and pull that wheel arch liner off. It's just clipped on, just with those clips there like that. That allows you to get to the bumper bolt, but I don't need that today. And then you've got to pull out all these crazy little clips which typically break. So you pull the centers out, and they've got 3 prongs. One of the prongs typically falls off. They're all around the wheel arch liner, so everywhere you see one of those, pull those out. Interestingly, the wheel arch liner is joined here. I think you can cut it, but I'm going to leave it together in one piece because I don't need to get that excess. And then there is also these 2 square clips here, and they pull out. Sorry, once you've taken the Torx out, you pull the square clips out, which go into these square holes in the bumper, and that then gives you access into here. And if I just put on the torch, we should see, once it stops flashing, which I think it'll do in a second, maybe, see if we can fix that. There we go. You can see there's the pump that I'm going to be pulling out in a minute. That just pushes into the reservoir, and you can, if you are really struggling, you could get these this bolt, and there's a nut, there's a screw at the front, at the top there, and there's also a screw down here, sorry, a bolt, a nut, holding the reservoir together, and you can pull the whole reservoir out from inside the wheel arch liner rather than pulling the bumper off, which would seem a lot better way of doing it and a lot less work. So this is only about 10 minutes to get into here, and then there is actually a second pump. Okay, interesting. So this car does have the 2 pumps. Most cars only have the 1 pump. I'm not sure why. We'll have a dig around and see if we can work that out. Okay, so I took the 2 motors out from the washer bottle. This is the front motor, and it's got 2 outlets, and I have no idea why. I'm going to work that out in a minute. And so that's a single pump, and I'll show you that one testing in a moment. And this is the motor, the second motor on the washer reservoir. Again, I don't know where this one goes, but just to test this one, I've put a couple of terminals on the connector, and this is what a good motor sounds like. Much as you'd expect, just a DC motor. Okay, so this is the front windscreen wiper motor with the 2 outlets, and I think this one's no good. So when I touch this one onto the battery, this is what we get. Ooh. Well, it's freed itself. How good's that? It was just stalled before, and now it's working. Okay, so that's blowing out of, no, can't tell. So let's just try that in reverse polarity. I think it drives this motor forwards and backwards for the 2 washers. Okay, so that seems that we fixed that, so I'll put it back in the car and see how we go. Okay, so I had to think about how to test these 3 pipes. I couldn't work out what the 3 were for, so I'm using a little Azito air blower, and I'm going to blow down this black pipe, and I think this black pipe is the front washer jets. So we'll just have a look at that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the rear one for the windscreen at the top, I think, is the clear pipe. We'll just blow on that.
Yeah, it's definitely coming out there.
Okay, and the third pipe, which is from the front pump, we did actually manage to work out what it is. that one is the washer for the rear camera. I assume that comes on maybe in reverse when you wash the headlight, the windscreen, not really sure. But clearly that's a different pump on a different circuit. Okay, so now I've tested both of them and now they work. I'm figuring that it was just a bit of gunk in the water. I'll show you what the water was that was in the washer bottle. I think it had got a bit dirty from people filling it with different things. Don't know if you can see in there, a bit hard to see. But there's definitely a lot of gunk and some little bits and bobs in there. So what we'll do is we're going to put these pumps back in and give them a spin back on the wiring of the car with fresh water and see if we can get that working well. And then we might put it back together for today and just leave it for a few weeks and see how we go. Okay, so the pumps are all back together. And now when I pull on the stalk, we have fully working washers. How good is that? I can't work out how to get the rear pump to run, but I'm just going to leave it anyway and see how we go. Okay, so mostly back together now. I've put in these clips. There's one here and one here on the wheel arch liner. I'm going to put all these ones back in, and underneath the front here there's this screw and these 3 screws. Don't worry about this, I lost my socket under the car, so I'll get that back on in a moment with those clips. And then we can get this inner liner back in for the oil change and we're good to go.